Hi, everybody, and welcome to Unified, a podcast feed from First Church Belmont Unitarian Universalist. We'll be sharing sermons and stories, especially thematic content made new every week. We're so glad you're here, and for more information about who we are and opportunities to grow and deepen, swing by the church on Sundays or check out our website at uubelmont.org. And for now, enjoy this new content. We begin with the words of Reverend Sherry Woodbury, an invitation to arrive and rest. Out of the din of this world, away from the noise, we come to rest in this moment, in this place. Set apart from the never-ending to-do lists, embracing this seventh day, a day of rest. We come to the warmth and the stillness of this sacred hour. Remember, you have chosen to be here. Something in your life led you to arrive here and now. Whatever tasks and cares await you now, for this brief time, simply rest. Allow your soul to be nurtured. Let the waves in your mind and heart gradually subside as you come home to yourself, holy and whole. This is a good moment inside of a hard time. And I am so glad you're here. It matters that we are here together, especially this day and this week, receiving this gift we have been given, creating this gift we leave behind for generations to come. There is a beautiful kind of harmony in that we were already planning on celebrating this 20-year anniversary of our building project, which expanded that beautiful parish hall and theater, which created so many spaces beneath it for RE classes and other programs. This was already the plan before the election results, before this week unfolded. And thinking over this, I was struck by the beautiful and simple truth of this gift we have been given, this space, this courageous vision of so many of you more than 20 years ago to build that larger space, to commit to the possibility of generations to come. 20 years ago, the building was dedicated, but of course, we know that these projects take a long time. And the seeds were planted long before. And as many of you remember, September 11th happened in 2001 as those seeds were beginning to be planted. Another president who many of us did not love, along with a vast apparatus behind him, enacted a sweeping response, and we were launched into the Iraq War. This was the background in which so many of you committed to a vision of the future, undaunted by the moment. Facing down huge systems of entrenched power, you committed to the future yet unknown. And so here we are, decades later. We come in today in so many various emotional places. We are daunted, fearing what the world may hold in the coming years. We are confused and dumbfounded as to how many of our friends and neighbors, so many in this vast country, would choose this path forward. We are exhausted. So many of you worked so hard for a very different outcome, and we are angry. Mama and Papa Bears, hackles raised, ready to protect our children from the dangers to come. We are so many things, all at once. all swirling. And so we thought, as a special treat, you'd get 2 stories today. And this is one of my favorites, and it's come back to me especially this week. And it begins with a man waking up in a bit of a cocoon, and he peels himself a little tiny crack, and he can peer out, and slowly his whole body emerges from the cocoon, and he looks around, and on a somewhat grassy plain, there are other cocoons and other people emerging. And not too soon after that, he can see that there's a bit of a fire off in the distance in one direction. More than just one fire, there's a number of fires, small fires and big fires, and something inside of him is called forward. He wants to go and see if he can help, but he looks around, and sure enough, lots of people who also just came out of the cocoons are running in the opposite direction, running away from the fires. But he sees that some are moving towards it, and so he takes the first few tentative steps towards the fires along with some other people. But he realizes there's nothing he can do. He's just himself. He's holding no tools. He has no skills to fight fires. He can vaguely hear some water rushing off in the distance. But again, he's moving forward with people, all trying to help. And he feels a very strange sensation in the middle of his chest. A bit of a glowing. And he stops and he looks down, and slowly something begins to emerge from that glowing, from the powerful love in the center of his chest. And it comes out, and he holds it with tentative hands, and it's a frisbee. And he's a little confused as to what a frisbee's going to do, and a little disappointed in this rather big-seeming moment. But he looks to his side, and sure enough, there's somebody else with a little bit of a glowing center. And that person holds forth something coming out of them, and it's a big, wobbly piece of plastic. That person's also confused, and off to the other side, somebody holds it coming out, and it's a bent little piece of metal. And all 3 of them are confused, but then they feel the things that they're holding, the frisbee and the wobbly plastic and the metal, all pulling them towards one another. And the 3 of them converge, and they're holding out their pieces, and the frisbee is held on the bottom, and then the plastic wraps around it, and then the metal connects to the top, and they realize that together they have formed a bucket, and the bucket shines and then produces 3 buckets, and they're all 3 holding buckets, and they rush off to the water not too far by, and they scoop up with their brand new buckets, and they head over together to begin to put out the fires. Amen. Each of us has something to bring. Each of us has some piece of what we need to craft these buckets to meet these fires to come. And the beautiful thing is that we have been preparing. Without knowing it, we have been preparing all along. I was struck this week by The Karate Kid, the original, a classic movie of my childhood, which had a long life on cable, if you remember how those movies used to live on cable after that. For our time together today, I want to remind you of one section in particular. After being saved by his soon-to-be teacher, Mr. Miyagi, from an attack from 5 martial arts student bullies in his high school, our hero, Daniel, wants to learn karate. And Mr. Miyagi agrees to teach him. But the first training begins with him waxing Mr. Miyagi's car. That iconic wax on, wax off moment. And that's followed by sanding the floor and then painting the fence, all with very specific movements. But to Daniel, it seems like he's been taken advantage of. And after 4 days, he's about to leave and quit his training when Mr. Miyagi asks Daniel to show him the movements. He says, "Show me wax on, wax off. Show me paint fence." Mr. Miyagi helps Daniel make those same motions crisp, and then he shows him that all these motions are actually blocks. He comes at Daniel with punches and kicks, all of which are blocked cleanly and effectively by these motions that he'd been practicing and strengthening for the last 4 days. Friends, we have been doing the same thing. This community is founded on love. It is founded on the solid belief in the inherent goodness and dignity of all people. Every week we come together and remember that we are connected and held, that we are more than just our own concerns and cares, that we are more powerful and more beautiful, more whole and holy together. We have been building this world we know can be for so long, preparing for the difficult moments to come. Next week at the Chenery Upper Elementary School, we have the very first gathering of the Rainbow Club. This is an opportunity for LGBTQ plus students and allies to gather at the school. And it is a result in part of the tireless work of so many of our very own, Fran Yuan, Gladys Unger, Leslie Talmadge, and so many who served on the Belmont LGBTQ plus Alliance and reached out to the elementary schools and to Chenery to help support these opportunities for kids and families to be welcomed and cherished and seen and supported. As some of you know, one of the promises of the incoming administration is to cut funding from any schools supporting our LGBTQ plus children and youth. And so here we are, painting the fence, waxing on and waxing off, preparing with this powerful love at our center, this cherishing and honoring, this seeing and celebrating the worth and dignity of all people, championing tirelessly human rights, especially when those rights are threatened systematically. This is why we are here. This is why we pour ourselves in, why we show up to hold one another, why we join together in song and in silence, why we build these connections between us for times such as these. I have so much hope. Not that the road ahead will not be difficult, but that we are up for the challenge. I have hope not that we will not sail our way into storms, but that together this beautiful vessel will hold just as she has for so long, and that we will be able to welcome in people stranded and struggling in the water. I have hope that we will hold one another as we face these next many years, that we will organize and mobilize, that we will worship and we will pray, that we will support one another and work tirelessly to see that our vision and values remain strong and clear in our hearts and minds and in the wider world. We'll end with these words from Rosemary Watola Tromer. She writes, "Hope has holes in its pockets. It leaves little crumb trails so that we, when anxious, can follow it. Hope's secret. It doesn't know the destination. It knows only that all roads begin with one foot in front of the other." Amen.